Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 2 days.
I like our speed on the outside with Jalen Brown and Omega Blake, and I like those guys. Obviously, C.J. Brown's had a good camp, Monte Harrison, so those are two that we know about, but Jalen and Omega Blake really are new, or would be new for our fans. We have certainly Mike Washington's a new guy. He can hand the ball to, and, at the tight end spot, Rohan Jones can run, and Jaden Platt can run, so those will be guys I think that our fans would be excited to see play.
Live from the Busch Light Studios, this is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
I think there's like 17 college football games on tonight. Now, are all of them marquee? No, but at least you got something. Then you got the real stuff beginning on Saturday. Ranked games galore, plenty of SEC, high-octane matchups. Arkansas, of course, gets its season underway against Alabama A&M as we're 2 days off. What are you betting on? You bet on UCA to cover tonight? You bet on Mike Washington to go over 1,000 yards, get another 1,000-yard back in there? Bet on Taylor to throw a passing touchdown against a ranked SEC opponent this fall? Plenty to get to as we get rolling here on a Thursday, Tommy.
That's what I'm betting on is we're going to get more rain today, which we desperately need. So it's been a gully washer so far this morning. So tonight's going to be fun. I mean, Ty, we get we get probably better football because we get more volume of football, number of games than we had last weekend. So, I mean, it's the best day so far of college football tonight on TV. So be sure and get ready. Plump down in front of that chair, have your Bet Saracen app all loaded up, and you can do some of that live betting, Ty, in front of in front of the TV with all them games. With that Bet Saracen app tonight. Yep,
you can bet in your season action to get ready for what the year's going to be for Arkansas. Yeah. You can bet some parlays. You can bet in-game stuff. You can do it all, again, on the Bet Saracen app. So what are you betting on this upcoming season? If you had to pick one thing, if you're going to lay money on for Arkansas-related, SEC-related, that you are sure, absolutely 100% positive is going to happen, what would it be? Mine is the LSU win total. I still don't know how it's 8.5. Like, I know they play Clemson on Saturday, and I know that's a matchup of two of the better quarterbacks, if not the best two QBs in the Southeastern Conference. And I know they got to go to Tuscaloosa, and they've got a tough SEC schedule, as every team does. But I still, for the life of me, Tommy, have not figured out why LSU has an 8.5 win total. I realize that people in Pine Bluff, and when it comes to this, are a lot smarter than me. I just don't get it. I hadn't got it all offseason, to be honest.
Well, it feels low. I think LSU's one of the top three teams in this league. I had them at 2 in our Pradco Pyramid of Power earlier this week, and I just think they're a really quality team. And I think we're going to see I think we're going to see an LSU win over Clemson, a good team to set the tone. But that's not Brian Kelly's MO. He normally does not take care of business early.
You mentioned that.
Is that going? You talk about what are you betting on? Maybe you're betting on LSU to win this game, but you're betting on them to win 9 or more in the regular season. So, and that would not be an unreasonable viewpoint based on Brian Kelly's history.
And I watched a montage this morning that came up on my reels of LSU's losses since 2020 against the hands of like Florida State and USC and others, and it's still crazy that the last time they won a season opener, I guess, was 2019 when Joe Burrow and company went to Texas and won that game. So it's one of the crazier stats in the Southeastern Conference when you look at just kind of where football is, and particularly where that school is when you think about the pride, history, and tradition at LSU. We're gonna have Dave Neal join us momentarily, Tom. And I was thinking about, like, Dave's obviously been a part of the SEC footprint for quite some time. We partner with Walmart with the ESPN Experience, and I know Peyton, Darren, Felix are going to be there later on. There's some iconic Dave Neal calls with D-Mac and those guys when it comes to some memories with Arkansas football.
Yeah, I'll be doing the second hour of the morning rush from the ESPN experience at Walmart. We were here last night for the ribbon cutting. Did you know it's D-Mac's birthday?
I saw that on
know
social media. We should have said something.
Well, it should have, but we were there. He got a little cake from Walmart, and we all sang happy birthday. So D-Mac was there. He's going to be back later tonight. You can come out and meet Felix Jones. You can meet Peyton Hillis and Darren McFadden, and we'll be having halftime live here. We're at going to be at the Walmart on Mall Avenue, kind of right in the middle of everything in Fayetteville. So second hour coming live from the ESPN set at the ESPN Experience at Walmart.
Was the big dog Doug McMillan there? I didn't know if the CEO made it. I know he's got a lot on his plate, but I was curious if he Arkansas alum that made it last night.
I don't think he made it last night, but I wouldn't be surprised if he popped his head in at some point. We're gonna be here and having live shows. Ruskin and Zach are halftime live from the Walmart on Mall Avenue each Thursday through the end of September. So it's a really cool setup. So we'll be in the second hour. We'll be live from the Sports Center desk, and you'll be able to see that on YouTube. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, Missouri takes on UCA tonight. I think that's the only SEC action that we have tonight. Baylor and Auburn is the one tomorrow. Eli Drinkwitz is going to be playing both quarterbacks, Bo Prabula, and I'm blanking on the other kid's name. I looked at it this morning and I forgot to write it down. But there are some schools that at least you can take some solace in the idea, like Arkansas. We know Talen's a starter. I've listened to him a bunch this offseason. We got some stuff to play from Pittman at the SEC teleconference yesterday and some stuff from earlier this week. But, Tommy, at least you can take some solace in the idea. It's like, man, we're not having to play two quarterbacks on Saturday. You want to. Like, you want to see KJ. You want to see Trevor Jackson. You want to see Grayson Wilson. But it's not like almost an obligation that's happening in Columbia, potentially in Waco, and some of these other schools this weekend as well.
Yeah, Arkansas's in a position. They've paid to be in a position where they're not still figuring it out. Talen's making a lot of money in the NIL, and they're not trying to figure out. This was a hand-selected quarterback that fits Bobby Petrino's system. He's big, he's tall, he's got good vision of the field, got a good arm. Hopefully we can figure out who's going to catch these passes starting Saturday. And that's one of the things that I'm sure a lot of people, you talk about Dave Neal joining us, I'm sure that's one of his questions is, who's going to catch all these passes? What names and numbers will I be calling on Saturday when Talen winds up and throws it?
Well, if you missed it in the open, when it comes to wide receivers, I know we had a question. Tom's talked about it. He's going to join us at 10 o'clock. Raylan Sharp, I guess a teammate of Talen's, 1 year in high school. He's played for Petrino last year at Fresno State. Kind of wondering about his timeline. Here was Coach Pittman on it yesterday.
He's healthy. He's ready to go. So he's looked good the last 2 days and a little bit last week as well when he came back. So he doesn't seem to be having any more problems with that foot.
I know that C.J. Brown listed over him, and we should mention C.J. was at Coach Pittman's show last night. Unfortunately, his father passed away about 2 weeks ago, and I know that him and Cam Ball are going to be wearing a commemorative patch as they head into this game on Saturday. Cam losing his father recently, and so is CJ. So I know that's going to be an emotional moment for him. But they actually, Tommy, I didn't realize this. I think Pittman said on a show last night they actually didn't have practice, and they attended CJ's dad's funeral as a team this past weekend.
You may have missed that. They did move the mock game from Saturday. You were gone when that happened. So moved the mock game from Saturday to Friday. In order for the team to be there. And I heard Coach Pittman last night in the show say they were trying to figure out when to plan the service so they could not interfere with practice. He said, "Oh, no." And I thought he was, he explained it well last night, showed the respect the team and the organization had for CJ's family, and the whole team walks into the service. That had to be very uplifting for the family. So they moved that mock game while you were gone to Friday and didn't have practice at all on Saturday.
So I know that was talked about. In addition to that, I don't know if a lot has necessarily been made about it, but I've seen some fans. I've gotten some text. I know you probably gotten some text about Bobby Petrino's positioning this Saturday. I don't know if it's going to pan out like the rest of the season, if this is a one-game thing, what the plan is there. But Sam Pittman did kind of touch on that as well.
That's how we're going to start. That's how we've done our scrimmages. Bobby actually approached me and felt like he could see the field better, be a better offensive coordinator up there. Obviously, in your first year, you don't quite know your quarterback as well as you do after you've worked with him. I felt like Bobby wanted to be there with him a year ago. However, I think he felt like he could do a better job upstairs with Morgan. So that's what we've been working on in our scrimmages, and that's what we're going to do. Yes.
I don't know if I've ever had this many people asking me about a coach position outside when Coach Pittman had the hip issue and obviously wasn't able to deal with the weather. I think at Columbia last year, and then there was another time where he had COVID and Coach Odom might have been up there in the box if I remember that timeline right. But it was just funny how many times, Tommy, this has been mentioned this week when this initially came out on Monday.
I mean, we talked about this yesterday. I think it's also a sign that you've got a year two quarterback that they're comfortable communicating over a headset or a telephone. So I think that's another part of it. I think if you had a bunch of first-year coaches and you had a bunch of you had a first-year quarterback in your system or a first-year coordinator with a second-year quarterback, I think maybe the decision's a little different. But, I think Bobby Petrino is very comfortable talking with Talon Green over a headset or a telephone and getting the point across and getting his coaching across. So I think that's being underplayed in all this is the relationship between Bobby and Talon and how that's come to a point that they can make this decision. Right. I like my play callers upstairs if I was a head coach, but we'll see how. If it doesn't work out, you'll come downstairs.
All right, we finally got Dave Neal here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Let's go to him.
This is Dave Neal with ESPN. You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Here's Jones on a keeper. Back over the 40 to midfield. Matt Jones may take it to the house. The dunk. From the 1 yard line, it's Felix Jones. He's to the 20. And Felix Jones will take this to the distance. The All-American last year is putting another one on the highlight reel. Trying to set up the screen to McFadden. He's got some running room. McFadden to midfield. McFadden slipped through some white jerseys, and he will take it to the end zone. Touchdown, Razorbacks. How does he do it?
This is the opening drive.
Man, it was quite a trio in 2006 and 2007 with Peyton and Darren and Felix, and you heard Matt's touchdown, of course, that Dave called in 2004. Dave, appreciate you making some time for us. I know you've already been on one show today. I know golf sounds like it's on the itinerary if you get 9 in. So you got a lot. You got a lot going on. We're at Walmart right now with the ESPN Experience. Felix Jones, Peyton Hillis, and Darren McFadden are all going to be in attendance. What was it like, from your vantage point perspective, to call a game with so much talent in a backfield like Arkansas had 20 years ago?
Man, just listening to that just brought back so many memories. And my first thought was, I don't know that I've seen anything as dynamic as that was. Felix Jones, I mean, if it wasn't for Darren McFadden, we'd be talking about Felix Jones like we talk about Darren McFadden. I mean, it was just incredible that those two guys were just as good as they were, man. You just didn't know. I remember there was a game, Arkansas went to Auburn, and I don't know if one of those clips was from that or not, but early kickoff, and Auburn big favorite, and Arkansas goes over there and just wears them out, and McFadden had a huge game, and I walked out of there going, man, I don't know that I'll see something like this again. That guy was, I mean, just incredible. I've been very fortunate. I know that's, you're going back, what was that, 2006 or something like that you said? I mean, we're talking almost 20 years ago. There have been some players that have been awesome to watch over the years, but man, few have been like McFadden. And like I said, Matt Jones was a great quarterback too. I don't know that Matt Jones works in today's game, the pass game. Like quarterbacks today have to be able to run and throw. I mean, they just kind of morphed into this unbelievable athlete now. You got to be the best athlete on the field almost. Matt Jones was an unbelievable athlete, as we all know. Great basketball player in his own right. But I just think today you better be multidimensional if you're going to have success at a quarterback position. But still, man, that was awesome. Thanks for throwing those up there, man. I hadn't thought about that in a while.
You bring up the Auburn. I think about a Fred Talley call you had in 2002, where I think he's still running down there on the plains. All these memories kind of popped in my head as we're listening to some of those calls this morning, Dave. And I wonder, you mentioned Matt there, who obviously we played a highlight. He's a coworker and a friend of ours. There's always comparisons with him and Talon. They're both about 6'6", 6'7", both can run, both play quarterback at the University of Arkansas. Talon had some ups and downs last year. I know Arkansas fans really excited for what he could do in 2025. Dave, in your opinion, you watched him, you called some games last year. What is his ceiling in this offense under Bobby Petrino?
Well, I think his ceiling is what's around him. I think Talon Green is certainly super talented, uber talented. I mean, I think the one thing, talking to Bobby Petrino as much as I did last year about Talon, it was the little details, I think, that maybe held him back from being that next great superstar quarterback. The run game he's just naturally gifted in that department. I think the pass game is something that's a work in progress. I'm anxious to see how much that work on those little minute details pay off. The footwork you talk about, the shoulder turn, those little things that nuances that really only the quarterbacks that play that position understand the value to that. But when you hear Bobby Petrino talk about it, there's a lot of value in it. Now, who's going to catch the football? I mean, two things got to happen. Actually, three things. I mean, we all know. I mean, I'm not saying, I'm not creating anything we don't know here, but you got to be able to block for them. You can't be running nonstop for your life. 5 years in a row, 30-plus sacks allowed by this Arkansas offensive line. They got to be buttoned up this year. They made strides last year. They shaved that number down a little bit, but you got to be able to protect, and then you got to have somebody catch it. They had Armstrong last year, 70-plus catches. Who's going to be that guy to be your 60, 70 catches per season guy? Maybe it's Jaylen Brown. Who knows? Maybe it's one of the slot guys, C.J. Brown or Raylan Sharp. Omega Blake's had a nice little camp as well. So, can those things work? And the other part is you got to be able to run the ball. The traditional run game has got to be a threat in today's world. I'm not saying you have to run for 175 yards a game as a team, but you better be able to make teams honor it. And I like Russell and I like Washington, so I think there's an opportunity there for those guys to provide that. So I think Talon Green has a chance to be elite level. I do. It just what is around him that will help make him successful.
Dave, as you get ready for this game and you're doing your homework, I'm sure it's a lot different. You mentioned Mike Washington, guy that played at New Mexico State last year. And how do you go about getting ready? I'm excited to watch these guys because a lot of these guys, other than a little bit of practice footage, we haven't seen. I know you probably didn't watch a lot of New Mexico State ball. How are you getting ready for all of these SEC games with so many fresh and new players and names and numbers to learn, and a guy like Mike Washington this weekend? How do you go about it?
Well, thank goodness for the internet. When I started doing this back in the mid-late 90s, it was a little bit more difficult finding stuff, even though the internet was there. It wasn't as much information. I'll be honest, schools have provided us. I'm very fortunate to do SEC football, where these schools spend a lot of money and resources on media relations and people that provide information and give it to you, send it to you, whether it's newspaper clippings that they have kept or stuff that the school produces. They get all that information to us. But the bottom line is you got to do lead work, man. You got to get out there. You got to Google. I mean, seriously, it's as simple as that. You try to find the little nuances, and we'll get on campus. We'll talk with. I'll be in town later tonight, but we'll meet with coaches tomorrow, and hopefully meet with some of these players and just kind of figure out who they are. Really, you said it, man. This transfer portal has made my work. It's added a few hours, to say the least, especially when you do in Arkansas where there's 30, 31 transfers. Mm-hmm. Some guys even transferred twice since their last school. So it's a little extra leg work, but I enjoy it, man. That's what this is fun. It's fun to get to know who these guys are. So I'm anxious to see them play too.
Yeah. So as you've watched Mike Washington, his film from last year, is he an SEC back? I mean, I know people around the program are really high on him. What's your analysis? You're a guy that's seen this league a long time. Is Mike Washington going to fit in the SEC?
Yeah, the one thing that I noticed about Mike Washington that I didn't see a lot of, that I think a lot of backs in this league, they got to be able to catch the ball. And I look at Braylon Russell. I know he didn't get a lot of work. There were a couple starts last year. I saw him. I forget what. Maybe Mississippi State. He had just a tremendous game. I think it was Mississippi State last year, and you saw the potential in him. You see, when I watched the videotape I actually went back and watched some video of Mike Washington in Buffalo, and he was dominating a few games I saw there too. I think as a runner, I think he's fully capable. But one of these guys, whether it's Rodney Hill, Brandon Russell, or Mike Washington, got to be effective catching the ball in the backfield. I think Mike Washington has that capability. Had 9 catches last year, but not a lot in his career. I don't know that he's been used that way. But as far as running the football between the tackles, I think he is fully capable. And this has a chance to be a really good running back situation at Arkansas. Again, if the line can hold up, I think that's $1 million question at Arkansas. I think the coaches will have a pretty good idea right away how these guys kind of work together. And obviously Saturday's a game that they expect to win and win handily. But I think it gives them an opportunity to kind of see how this thing will look moving forward as you get closer and closer to the SEC. And of course, it's not exactly an easy gauntlet in September for this team. So the quicker the better. You get to find out what these guys look like.
Dave Neal, SEC Network, ESPN. He's on the broadcast tomorrow for Arkansas and Alabama A&M. Dave, I know you got a busy day, so we appreciate you making some time for us this morning, man.
Yeah, man, always a pleasure. Can't wait. Always love getting over to Northwest Arkansas, so I'll see you boys in a couple days.
He's been a fixture of the SEC for decades upon decades, and always good to hear some old call stuff. I think about, like, I can snap my fingers and I know exactly what happened just based on some of Dave's words from 2-3 decades ago, man.
Yeah, and been a voice in this league for a long time. Hey, if you haven't downloaded the Hit That Line Now app, it's powered by Taco Bell. Try the Lux Cravings boxes, $5, $7, and $9, available now at Taco Bell. And the Hit That Line Now app will come in handy this weekend. Also brought to you by APAC and Standard Materials Group, the #1 source for top quality aggregates right here in Northwest Arkansas. May need some after some rain and some washout, Ty. So if you need some gravel, need sand, or need ready-mix concrete brought to your home or job site, they can do that for you. 479-587-3300. 587-3300 for APAC and Standard Materials Group.
All right, so we got a non-conference game finalized for Arkansas basketball. Some more stuff from Sam Pittman as well, plus a trade for the Detroit Lions that's going to help out Isaac TeSlaa. We'll tell you all that when we come back in your Hog Update.
Iredale drives it the other way to right field. He might have hit it out. It's gone. A home run for Brent Iredale into the Hunt Center.
This is the Morning Rush.
I drink beer and I dip skull.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Elizabeth.
This is Robert. And this is Matt, and we're at the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
Folks, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
No, it's not Christmas yet.
No, Mom, he's referring to football season.
Oh, speaking of football, guess what we just got in?
Season tickets?
Sideline passes?
Well, close. We just started receiving the Nike sideline apparel like hats and polos.
Yeah, but did we get jerseys?
Yeah, we got both kinds, cardinal and white.
We also have youth and adult sizes.
That's great. People have been asking for that for quite some time now. Matt, by the way, I did some research, and there's no shot for going viral.
Oh, Lord. Mom, he's a goner.
Anyway, besides Nike, we also have Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, and many other brands.
All at the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole, which is 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baumwalker Stadium. Matt, you tell them all about them interweb page.
He means the website, which is shop on Razorback.com.
Or give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs!
I may mispronounce his name, but Talon Green.
This is the Morning Rush.
Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off, or take 4.9% for up to 84 months. Lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer and go 0 to 60 in under 3.9 seconds for as low as $9.99 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Artie's Original Bag is back, now with even more full-size sandwiches. Choose any two. The new spicy chicken sandwich, hot ham and cheese, hand-breaded chicken tender wrap, or charbroiled double cheeseburger. Mix and match any two. With fries and a drink, just $6.99. Why settle for junior burgers? Get big savings on full-size goodness in Hardee's Country. Download the app and join my rewards for special offers. These items only, tax not included. Price and participation may vary. See app for terms.
Hey, it's Matt Jones. If the weather has raked your roof and you need a roofing company you can trust, call my friends at Patriot Brothers Roofing. They are licensed, bonded, insured, and lifetime River Valley residents located in Van Buren.
Thanks, Matt. We are also the only roofing company in the River Valley that installs a full CertainTeed integrity roof system and registers a 50-year warranty directly with CertainTeed. Avoid the door knockers and storm chasers. We are local and we will be here long after the storm chasers are gone.
Check out PatriotBrothersRoofing.com or call 479-652-9479.
Patriot Brothers Roofing, because your home deserves only the best.
Freshen up your golf game at the Golf Nut. We've got the latest apparel and head covers from Pins and Aces, plus new shirts and shorts from Red Vanley. Ghost golf bags are here in Sunday bag, carry, and card 14 styles. Zero torque putters are the hottest thing on the greens. Check out our models from TaylorMade, Lab Golf, and Odyssey. For precision on every shot, we've got rangefinders from Blue Tees and Bushnell. Visit the Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith. Fort Smith's #1 golf shop since 1994.
Contractors, you've got jobs to win and customers to impress. That's why you choose Luxair HVAC systems, built for performance, efficiency, and reliability. And at J&B Supply, we've had your back since 1968. We're a local family-owned distributor that treats our customers like family too, with the products, expertise, and service you need to get the job done right. For over 50 years, HVAC and plumbing pros have trusted J&B Supply in Fort Smith, Springdale, and Bentonville. J&B Supply, where the professionals go.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
Sharp Equipment is your one-stop shop for heavy equipment. Now with their new location in Van Buren on 3918 Pointer Trail East. Whether your machine's rattling, sputtering, or refusing to start, Sharp's got the parts and expertise to get you moving again. Looking for a new piece of heavy equipment? Look to Sharp Equipment, an authorized Wacker Newson dealer. Sharp Equipment has what you need. Come see Sharp at their new location in Van Buren across from Mid-South Steam Boiler, or call 479-649-0500 to see how Sharp Equipment will help you move more than just the world. Will help you move forward.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
There's only one Razorback.
Uncle Tommy loves the Razorbacks.
Razorback fans, let's stand up and call those.
107 down.
This one belongs to the Razorbacks. Ball's on the ground, picked up by Colin. Alex has got room.
Everybody, Woo Victory. This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Well, I don't anticipate him being limited. He's practiced yesterday and Monday and Tuesday. He'll practice again today. Doesn't seem to be limited much at all, so we expect him to be ready to roll.
That was Sam Pittman on All-SEC linebacker Xavier Sori, who I think is the best player on your football team. That sounds like, Tommy, I know he's kind of dealt with some stuff in the offseason, particularly in fall. Sounds like he's leaning towards getting a chance to play on Saturday. I know he's been held out of some things, but you don't need him for this game. Probably don't need him for Arkansas State. You definitely need him in Oxford, Mississippi, and Vaught-Hemingway Stadium.
But it'd be good to get him out there, and and no one ever feared this was anything long term or more serious than we're being told. But it does validate that, I guess, to a degree. But I would expect him to play. But I think kind of like you're talking about a limited role. You don't have to stress that injury and set back any recovery. So, but I think you want to get him out there and kind of get into the flow of things and put your best 11 out there first if you can.
Mm-hmm. Colton, you got your Dolphins jersey on. Did Jaquin end up making the roster? He was on the Jaguars.
Okay, but Andrew Armstrong is who you're thinking of, and unfortunately, they didn't have enough room on that wide receiver core for Andrew to make the team. But don't talk about the Dolphins this morning, Ty. I'm already pissed off about them.
Tangent about black jerseys?
Stupid. You're in Florida. Why the hell are you wearing black jerseys?
That's like the Anthracites, Tommy, in Fayetteville. Anytime Arkansas dons them, it's just like, please put those away. Please never, ever bring them out again.
Donate them to charity. So.
Yeah, don't and no one would take them. You would rather go clothesless than wear those things. Keeping the NFL stuff going. This is big news. So the Lions, according to Tom Pelissero, just traded Tim Patrick, who's their wide receiver 3. You got Jameson Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown as kind of their 2 alphas in that room. Guys, Isaac Tesla might start this year as a rookie. And Brad Holmes, people were really happy with the pick in the selection he made in the 3rd round. Traded up, I think, 2 picks maybe to get him, Isaac Tesla. But Tommy, this could be a kid that maybe didn't have an insane final season at Arkansas. Could have a pretty good rookie season with Jared Goff there at Ford Field.
Well, and it's an indicator here at the last hour, the 11th hour, if you will, of their belief in what they've got, including Tesla. So, yeah, that'd be the Detroit Hogs, and now
Skipper just got released.
Skipper got released. I don't know if they brought him back for practice squad or if someone else will pick Skipper up. Now he's been through this before with them.
Yep.
He's kind of been an up and down player on that offensive line, but I thought he'd maybe reached a point he's going to stick and stay. But I was a little bit surprised by that. So I bet he's on. I bet he's on that P squad again.
He'll make some team. He's 6'10". He's be a great special teams player the rest of his career.
Campbell, that emotional locker room scene after the game where he was like, "Skip," and he brought him in, and you could tell how like emotional Dan was at that moment. So hopefully, whether it's Detroit or somewhere else, just want to see Dan Skipper on the field this upcoming season. Last thing here in your Hog Update, basketball news for you. East Lansing is official November 8th. How about this? Start of the college basketball season that Saturday. You're going to be playing Tom Izzo and the Michigan State Spartans. In addition to that, they're coming back to Bud Walton next year, which is awesome. So you get them this non-conference season in addition to a bunch of other good games like Houston and Duke and Texas Tech. And now, Tommy, I don't know how many people are going to make a trip to East Lansing for this game, but it just bolsters your non-conference schedule, and it's officially on the schedule based on the release yesterday.
What was the date on that?
November 8th. Who do they play? Is it a bye? Yeah, it's a bye.
That's a Saturday. So, yeah, you could make it's Arkansas's bye day, like you said. Yeah, you could make I don't know what there is to do in East Lansing, but you can make a little weekend out of it. So,
yeah, I don't know.
Not at the top of my bucket list in November of places to go, but, something to do on the bye weekend.
I wonder if Magic's going to go back for that game. Steve Smith, some of the notable Michigan State alums.
Sounds like a tie behind enemy lines trip to me.
What is that? I don't have anything that weekend. I'll go to East Lansing.
I've been to East Lansing. It's pretty cool, actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
nice little college town.
The more you know. All right, that's your Hog Update here on a Thursday. Always brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888 Sparky.
Tommy,
breaking news: Ty doesn't have a wedding on the bye day.
Yeah,
right?
I got one on the first one, but not the second one. Tommy, I know you've proclaimed.
We all need a weekend off.
Yeah, at some point. You proclaimed yourself at times to be a Braves fan. Is that correct?
I grew up a Braves fan. Okay. WTBS, Del Murphy, Bob Horner, Glenn Hubbard, Joe Torre. Yes, I was a Braves fan when they stunk in the 80s.
Well, let's take you back to better times in the 90s. We had former Braves pitcher Tom Glavine give us our fantasy football draft order, and it was pretty funny.
Hey, fellas, Tom Glavine here. Hope everybody's doing well. So it's a crappy, rainy day here in the Panhandle in Florida. So what better thing to do than to do your cameo and announce your picks for your upcoming fantasy football season. So I put the names in a hat, picked them out randomly, and here's the order I came up with. Some of you, congratulations. Others, I'm sorry. That's just the way that it went. The 6th pick goes to the Thunder Ducks. There you go, boys. Congratulations, I guess, to the number 1 pick. Good luck to the rest of you, and have a great season. All right, take care.
Thunder Ducks went with CeeDee Lamb. Is there anyone that's been more excited to do anything than Tom Glavine was to voice our fantasy football
How much
draft?
did that cost?
I think $100. It was worth it.
Can't hide money, Colton. You can't.
It wasn't my $100. We
burning
split it.
$100 bills.
It's like
to get
$8 a person.
Unbelievable. You just can't hide money. You just can't hide it. So unbelievable. Hey, if you're looking for a place to stay in Northwest Arkansas, the Inn at the Mills, down the road from where we're at here at the Walmart on Mall Avenue. Perfect place to stay. 443-1800 is their number. Online at innatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, exit 69 off I-49.
I think it's your girlfriend called.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, home of the Lewis Guarantee.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Elizabeth.
This is Robert. And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
Folks, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
No, it's not Christmas yet.
No, Mom, he's referring to football season.
Oh, speaking of football, guess what we just got in?
Season tickets?
Sideline passes?
Well, close. We just started receiving the Nike sideline apparel like hats and polos.
Yeah, but did we get jerseys?
Yeah, we got both kinds, cardinal and white.
We also have youth and adult sizes.
That's great. People have been asking for that for quite some time now. Matt, by the way, I did some research, and there's no shot for going viral.
Oh, Lord. Mom, he's a goner.
Anyway, besides Nike, we also have Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, and many other brands.
All at the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole, which is 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baumwalker Stadium. Matt, you tell them all about them interweb-based brands.
He means the website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Or give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
Quit telling me it's the most Arkansas thing ever. No, it's not. Because the most Arkansas... No, you're wrong.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hey everyone, David Rath here with Rath Auto Resources. Our state sales tax paid offer was a big hit. Frankly, we've been too busy selling cars to come up with an inspired replacement. So in my stereotypical artistic procrastination, I just gave up and decided to extend the sale through Labor Day. Just bring in your old ride and get state sales tax paid when you trade, now through Labor Day weekend. Probably. Just know the reason why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Get state sales tax paid when you trade, now through Labor Day at Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, rathautofortsmith.com.
We all plan to be on time, but fender benders, damaged windshield, and slick road quickly disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design personal protection plans that work for you and help keep you on track. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Call Wade Gilkey or Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Your home is your
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas. More than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. $39.36. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Does your Razorback closet need an upgrade? The University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you're looking for, only at Roback.com. They've custom designed the best hoodies, polos, and Q-zips for your school. Go check out this and more at Roback.com, and don't forget to use our link for 20% off. Use code RUSH25 at checkout on Roback.com for 20% off your first order. That's RHOBACK.com. 20% off all hoodies, joggers, and more with Rush 25. Roback, where action meets comfort.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nate and Kristen's Place in Lowell online at carpatsocial.com.
2 days away from Game 1 of the 2025 season. Who are two players you are excited to see on Saturday for this Razorback football team? I'll start. I'll give you my first one. We'll go back and forth here, Ty. I want to see Larry Worth out there at safety. This dude is 6'4", 226.
Change numbers. Make sure you
get
get the right
now
number.
Number three. This guy's a beast physically. Very imposing for a safety to be 226 and 6'4". I want to watch Larry Worth play some safety on Saturday. That's one player I'm excited to see.
Okay. I kind of want to see Blackstock at defensive tackle.
Oh, man, Keyshawn's doing good, man. You know, he's doing better than a lot of people have thought.
That was Cam Ball earlier this week. You moved him there because he's played the position before, and you need guys. Like, you can't play in the SEC with a light defensive line in terms of depth. So I want to see, like, is this kid going to stay there? Is he going to move back? I know to say a defensive tackle might be flying under the radar, and you're not exactly watching the line of scrimmage every time, but is this kid clogging up the middle and making plays? So I'm going to go Keyshawn Blackstock. What about you, Colton?
My first person that I'd be looking forward to watch this season would be Corey Robinson, left tackle, the guy that you picked up from Georgia Tech in the transfer
Clay's
portal.
proud. We're listening line of scrimmage, guys,
Hey,
Tommy.
but you really needed to shore up your pass protection last year, and to go out there and get an elite left tackle like Corey Robinson, really looking forward to see not only how he does in pass protection, but we heard Dave Neal say that, look, this team has the potential to be a really, really good and effective running team. So want to see how Corey Robinson does also moving the line of scrimmage.
And Robinson, the deal with him is he was one of the more coveted guys in the transfer portal. I don't remember where Kittler was on that list. I know Clay. I listened to Clay talk about him yesterday at halftime and just what he provides at the center position. He said something that it didn't catch me off guard, but it just kind of stayed with me. It's like name an Arkansas football team without a good center. What does Matt always talk about on halftime? He talks about his offensive linemen and his teammates and skill positions. And when you have Jason Peters and Sean Andrews up front, it doesn't hurt anything. But that's a good point. And I think about, like, I heard this story, Tommy, from an Auburn dad. Hugh Freeze was hacked off when they did not get Fernando Carmona Jr. Like, really ticked off, really wanted him. And he wasn't the only one. So you've got several guys. I know Carmona was here last year, but you got several guys on that line of scrimmage that were coveted that you ended up landing. Hopefully it just materializes. Like, if you can get any semblance of an offensive line like you had in 2021, you're going to score some points this fall.
Yeah. Another guy I'm interested in watching, we mentioned him earlier, Mike Washington. I mean, relatively unknown to Razorback fans. We kind of know his history, and know he played at Buffalo and played in New Mexico State, coming to Arkansas, looked good in the spring, 228-pound running back. So I'm excited to see Mike Washington carry the mail and see if he can be an SEC-level player. All indications are he will be. So Mike Washington's a player I'm excited about seeing. I think a lot of fans just want to get familiar with some of these new guys. Washington's one of them.
I'll stay in the skill positions, but I want to go out wide to Omega Blake. This is a kid started his career in Columbia, South Carolina, ended up at Charlotte, and is now here in Fayetteville. I remember South Carolina guys telling me about him years ago, and I think he led the nation in yards per catch, maybe it was last year. He's going to be your number one alpha receiver. He's going to be the guy that Talon looks to. Is he going to have over 1,000 yards this year like Andrew did? Probably not. But does he have to make plays? Yes. So I'm going to say Omega Blake. I want to see if he can win some one-on-one matchups against lesser competition coming up here in 2 days. Colton, what's your last one?
Ty, you mentioned how, can you think of a good Arkansas Razorback team that didn't have a good center or a good offensive line? Can you name an Arkansas Razorback team that did not have a good place kicker? Really excited to see what Scott Starzik can do. He's one of the top-ranked kickers coming out of high school this past year. They've had lots of great things to say about him. Devin Bales said last week that he's got this cockiness, this swagger about him. And look, kickers are their own breed. I know a couple personally, and you need to have a little bit of that. So I want to see if Scott Starzik is able to get the job done from anywhere on the field.
And on that note, Arkansas has converted 179 extra points in a row, dating back to 2020. So can Arkansas have a perfect season like they did a year ago, where the Hogs went 49 of 49 on PATs? I know that sounds simple, but it's not as simple as you think to make every extra point. Hopefully it's a lot more than 49 of 49. Hopefully it's like 79 of 79.
And that's kind of reminds me of the basketball stat where they made consecutive three-pointers for a number of years. Now, obviously, that went along a lot longer, but these obscure stats. You usually don't like obscure stats, but you got one. So hopefully it stays the same like you're saying. And again, Cam Little had I think he went 13 of 16, if I remember that right, his freshman year. So I don't know if they're going to call on Starzik to kick the ball 25 times this season outside of, I'm just talking about field goals, but hopefully he can deliver for the Hogs as a true freshman. All right, that is your Cart Pass Social Morning Rush Daily question. I got to know we've had some rain this week. And you can take advantage and still play golf at Cart Pass Social, the #1 indoor golf facility in all of Arkansas. Go to cartpasssocial.com. You can play one of over 1,000 different courses at Cart Pass Social. In 122 Grant Place at Lowell, it's always BYOB. I know Christian Olsen, Nate Garehan, they're partnering with Rogers this next month. So excited about that. We'll be telling you more about that in the coming weeks. Cart Pass Social, always BYOB at Cart Pass Social, Tommy.
Yep, and going to be a good day to be in there as much rain as we're going to get through the evening. I know Arkansas plays soccer tonight. Got Duke coming in, big game. I think they're ranked 3rd in the country.
Yeah.
Team that you played in the postseason. So hopefully all this weather clears out for what is going to be a big-time soccer game tonight. At Razorback Field.
I think it's going to clear out right before, if I remember that right, and still looking like really good weather on Saturday for this game. Tom Murphy's going to join us here in about 15 minutes as well. We'll get into some stuff about that. One of the things we haven't brought up in the first 45 minutes or so of this show is the report that Brett McMurphy of On3 came out with. Evidently, there's potential of North Carolina and Virginia joining the SEC interests of both parties.
I don't know about you guys. I was surprised he didn't say 24. Because I think that kind of what Andy laid out, I think we're going to be 20 or 24 with the SEC and the Big Ten. The question is, what is going on with the Big 12 and the ACC, and are they going to be allowed to be part of that group? I think it's very clear. Andy, you want to speculate recklessly about who it'll be? Look, after I reported that this morning, I immediately got a text from someone within the SEC and basically said what I've been thinking, and that is North Carolina and Virginia will be highly contested between both conferences.
You've talked about like the idea of playing multiple big time games a year, like 11 or 12. If they move to, and I know Greg Sankey calls the SEC a super conference already, but in terms of numbers, like 16 is big, it's good, but the Big Ten has more, and you just wonder if that's where we're headed. Like, I think you can make a case for North Carolina to a certain degree. I'm curious to see how Belichick does it out there. And Chapel Hill's a little different than other SEC schools. I'll admit that. I've been there. But Virginia is just odd to me. Like hearing him report that. McMurphy usually has got his pulse on the college football stuff. So it's not like he's just pulling it out of his you-know-what. But that's just kind of an odd pairing to me to find the Virginia Cavaliers in the Southeastern Conference. And I don't even know if you get like the DC market with Virginia. Maybe there's more Virginia alums in that area than I know because I'm not out there all the time. But that's an odd pairing to me.
Well, I think we think about on-field performance as being the ultimate measure of why you bring a school in. And if that was always the case, probably Arkansas and Missouri and South Carolina would never have belonged in the SEC. But you bring it in for expansion of territory. You bring it in for TV viewers. You bring it in for more subscribers to your SEC network. I think Virginia probably does that. You talk about having a flag placed on the soil in the state of North Carolina. I can't imagine there's many homes that don't already have the SEC network in Charlotte, or Winston-Salem, or the big four cities, Raleigh, Durham. I mean, keep going through North Carolina towns. I know that there's not an SEC school in North Carolina, but I can't imagine you're really, expanding your network and your television footprint a whole lot by adding that school. But North Carolina brings a lot to the table in basketball, similar to some other schools like Arkansas in football, done some things at times, but I don't really see North Carolina is coming in and adding a lot to your football roster.
But Virginia also, what's their sport? Maybe baseball? What does Virginia have to offer? That's kind of like you said, it's kind of a
basketball
weird,
at times.
Well, but that's back in the 80s with Ralph Sampson in the 70s. I mean,
I just won a national championship with Tony Bennett, so let's give him a little respect.
Well, it's basketball, but I mean, Virginia doesn't make a lot of sense either. Why are they pining over those two instead of Florida State or Clemson?
Because of the footprint.
Because you already got those states.
Yeah, and that's.
I don't think they're going to bring in another school. I mean, I know Texas and Texas A&M was one thing, and Texas is a national brand. But I don't think, like Oklahoma State's not going to – you already got a school in that state. I don't think they're going to go bring in Clemson when you've already got South Carolina. I don't think they're bringing in Florida State or Miami when you've already got, Florida. So North Carolina makes sense from that standpoint, and it's contiguous to your current footprint, which we know has also been important to this league to not fragment your footprint out and leapfrogging states.
Yeah,
they haven't done that.
I want to get Tom's perspective and thought on that. He's going to join us. Much other things coming up. We got some other SEC things that I want to get into as well.
Hey, Joe's Grill and Cantina is bringing it back, and they're going to do it all day this Saturday. It's half price apps and taps. They're going to do it from open to close for the first big Saturday of college football. Wear your hog gear and get half-price appetizers and half-price beers on tap. You can pop in and out. It's good all day. We'll do it every Saturday during hog games, but we're going to make it kind of a festive deal for the first weekend of college football and do it all day, beginning with the early wave of games at 11 a.m. with Texas and Ohio State. So be sure and get to Joe's Grill and Cantina for your game days. During every Arkansas game, they'll have half-price apps and taps. They put up more TVs, newer TVs, and they got great Tex-Mex all the time. It's Joe's Grill and Cantina for half-price apps and taps this Saturday, 3400 South 74th Street across from Harps in Fort Smith.
Speaking of North Carolina, Bill Belichick's company has filed a trademark for Gold Digger. The filing made with the USPTO on August the 25th earlier this week claims that Bill tends to launch a Gold Digger brand of jewelry. So we have that going for us when it comes to the North Carolina Tar Heels and their football program, which embarks on its first season with Bill Belichick at the helm. Gold Digger, jewelry coming near you.
Does she get any of the money?
One would think, based on the real estate and various other things that she's accumulated in that relationship. I'm just going to guess yes. I don't have the percentage in front of me, but I'm going to guess
Seems
yes.
like the campaign's aimed at one person.
Yes,
So.
I think it is. Hour number 2 coming up. Mr. Murphy joins us on the other side. Stay with us. It's the Morning Rush.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Elizabeth.
This is Robert. And this is Matt, and we're at the Stadium Shop on Razorback. Folks, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
No, it's not Christmas yet.
No, Mom, he's referring to football season.
Oh, speaking of football, guess what we just got in?
Season tickets? Sideline passes?
Well, close. We just started receiving the Nike sideline apparel like hats and polos.
Yeah, but did we get jerseys? Yeah, we got both kinds, cardinal and white.
We also have youth and adult sizes.
That's great. People have been asking for that for quite some time now. Matt, by the way, I did some research, and there's no shot for going viral. Oh, Lord. Mom, he's a goner.
Anyway, besides Nike, we also have Champion, Cutter and Buck, Tommy Bahama, and many other brands.
All at the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole, which is 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baumwalker Stadium. Matt, you tell them all about them interweb page. He means the website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Or give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs!
This is the Morning Rush.
Hey everyone, David Rath here with Rath Auto Resources. Our state sales tax paid offer was a big hit. Frankly, we've been too busy selling cars to come up with an inspired replacement. So in my stereotypical artistic procrastination, I just gave up and decided to extend the sale through Labor Day. Just bring in your old ride and get state sales tax paid when you trade, now through Labor Day weekend. Probably. Just another reason why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Get state sales tax paid when you trade, now through Labor Day at Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, rathautofortsmith.com.
Budweiser, the American lager. A time-honored recipe, true to our original process, brewed using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt, delivering great quality beer since 1876. Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
It's football season, and that means tailgate parties and gathering with friends. River Point Wine and Spirits has all your favorite party supplies. You'll love our clean, organized store full of all the best liquor, wine, and beer. At River Point, we're a family-owned business where customer service is always our priority. Your journey, our spirit. River Point Wine and Spirits, Grand Avenue and I-540.
Since 1992, the Inn at the Mill has welcomed guests to experience the most unique place to stay when visiting Northwest Arkansas. Centrally located at the Johnson exit off I-49, the Inn at the Mill has established a rich tradition of comfort, convenience, and value. Whether it's the big game, business travel, a trip to Crystal Bridges, or a weekend getaway that brings you to Northwest Arkansas, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious room with ample space to spread out. And when I'm there on business, I appreciate the fast, free internet to keep me connected to work and the laid-back European-style breakfast to start the day. Experience unique and different at the Inn at the Mill, just off I-49 at the Johnson exit. Call 479-443-1800 to make your reservation. That's 479-443-1800 or visit innatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, active weather will continue with occasional showers and storms, some with very heavy rainfall. In fact, across the north, some folks could walk away with a couple of inches of rain just today. Our high this afternoon will be in the upper 60s to low 70s. Chance of showers and storms with heavy rain at times tonight, overnight low near 60. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Colorworks. Whether it's the weather or just life, call Andy at Colorworks Paint and Body for all your auto body repairs. Big or small, old or new, they are the choice for auto body repair. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 2 days. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
I like our speed on the outside with Jalen Brown and Omega Blake, and I like those guys. Obviously, C.J. Brown's had a good camp, Monte Harrison, so those are two that we know about, but Jalen and Omega Blake really are new, or would be new for our fans. We have certainly Mike Washington's a new guy. He can hand the ball to, and, at the tight end spot, Rohan Jones can run, and Jaden Platt can run, so those will be guys I think that our fans would be excited to see play.
Live from the Busch Light Studios, this is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
You're excited for 17 games of football on tonight? Excited for guys you hadn't seen, as Sam Pittman was talking about? That's kind of what we were speaking to, like two guys, one side of the football, each side of the football, I should say, that you're excited about this upcoming Saturday. Maybe it's a guy that you knew from last year. Maybe it's a newcomer. I mean, there's plenty of newcomers on this team this fall.
Yep, man, got to learn a lot of new names. We talked about that all summer long, the lack of familiarity with the fan base and the roster and all the new players, 31 or 2 transfer players. So I think that's something we all got to get familiar with. It's the Morning Rush. We're brought to you by Uncorked Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's in Fort Smith. If you're looking for a place to watch games at times, it's an awesome spot. Got the biggest screen in Fort Smith. They'll have the Hog games on and stuff throughout the year. The perfect place for patio weather as well. I know we're getting a little bit right now, be a great day to sit out, even if it's sprinkling a little bit on their patio, have the TVs on, and really enjoy a great afternoon with maybe your favorite cocktail, favorite glass of wine. They'll have it all for you. You can make reservations for the weekend, maybe for date night or whatever. UncorkTheFort.com. Chef Jazz has a wonderful menu. It's different than any other place you're going to go, but it's got all your favorites as well, if that makes sense. You'll find awesome stuff like their fried devil eggs are a great appetizer, the spicy meatballs, the big double-bone pork chop you can have for dinner. It's all at Uncorked Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's in Fort Smith.
All right, you've stepped inside the ESPN experience there at Walmart. Peyton Hillis, Felix Jones, Darren McFadden. It was Darren's birthday last night. I know they were out and about. What is it like? Give us a sense of what it's like where halftime's going to be here in about an hour.
It is. It looks like a Sports Center set. There's 4 TVs here. There's all sorts of ESPN memorabilia. We have the SEC trophy behind glass here. We've got Peyton Hillis's jersey with the Browns. We've got Darren McFadden's jersey with the Cowboys. We're going to be showing you all this. We'll have our YouTube video stream up here from here. We got Darren's Doak Walkers. We've got his College Football Hall of Fame stuff.
Dose Walkers.
Yeah, we got both. We do. So all sorts of cool stuff. Walmart, Mall Avenue. Come by and things are opening up. We'll be telling you more about ESPN's new direct-to-consumer app. where you can have ESPN directly on your phone, tablet, or computer. And more coming up about that. And you can come by and see us here today at the Walmart on Mall Avenue in Fayetteville.
You know, I'll tell you something else I think people are excited about. This doesn't relate to the SEC, but how about the opportunity for Drake Lindsey to get his first start this weekend? He was talking about it this week.
How excited are you for the opportunity that lies ahead for you to run this offense?
Yeah, super excited. Obviously, it's a new opportunity and a big one. I'm just trying to attack it every day and push myself to be the best and, just going to that Buffalo game, relax, and just be myself.
You think about it, that's another game you could watch tonight, just like the Missouri and UCA game, former Fayetteville Bulldog. Tommy, the opportunity for him and his first start for the Golden Gophers, row the boat. It starts tonight, man.
Yeah, huge deal, and that's why he went to Minnesota. They recruited him hard. PJ Fleck was on him from the start, never left, and he going after Drake Lindsey. And now he gets rewarded with an opportunity to start for the Gophers. So I think it's going to be exciting to see what happens in his future there. So.
You see kids sometimes, obviously, from our state go elsewhere, like the likes of KJ Hill. D'Angelo Williams didn't go far from Wynn to Memphis. But I personally, I don't know how everyone else feels, but when a kid goes elsewhere, I know some are bummed that he didn't go to Arkansas, obviously, but wish him the best success, not just tonight, but moving forward. Well, I'll tell you, he's always successful, and that's our friend Tom Murphy, Whole Hog Sports, Arkansas Democrat Gazette, who now joins us via the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Tom, good morning, man. We are 2 days out finally from football. It sounds like Sam Pittman's got a pretty healthy roster for this upcoming game. David Oakey's going to be out. Heard from him in the teleconference yesterday. Xavier Sorey and Raylan Sharp sound like they're good to go. What are you expecting? I know you've been really high on Raylan Sharp. C.J. Brown listed as a starter. Kind of what are you looking from him in this first game against Alabama A&M?
Yeah. You're too kind with that introduction, Ty, but I do appreciate it. I expect Raylan to still have a good year, but maybe this speaks to that they have a group of receivers that they're going to trust and think will be productive with Talon. Clearly, Raylan knows the offense well from having played it at Missouri State for Bobby Petrino, and he built up I don't know if this level of trust, I think, with Talon by his work in the spring and all through the summer. And so he's going to get his opportunities. I think he and CJ will play some slot and some wide and just kind of be in probably about a 7-man rotation or so.
You mentioned CJ. I was gone a little bit last week, so I missed this. I didn't know that CJ's father had passed away. He was on the coach's show last night. I know both him and Cam Ball, who have recently lost their dads, are going to wear a commemorative patch. We saw Cam at SEC Media Days, Tom, just like you did. I know that this season's going to be emotional for him as well as CJ. What do you think it's going to be like for them heading into this first game on Saturday without guys they've looked up to their entire lives?
Yeah, it's really tough when you're in your 20s and you lose your father. Obviously, Cam, paid a huge tribute to his dad in Atlanta. And, kind of credits his grilling proclivities to his dad. So he's going to honor him. And I just thought it wasn't a huge move, but it was a substantial move in that Sam Pittman, when he heard that the Brown family was asking what time were they going to scrimmage on Saturday, and he goes like, "Don't worry about that. You set the services for Carson Brown whenever. We're going to move our mock game to Friday night." To me, that speaks volumes about his respect, and I think that's the kind of thing that is very meaningful for a team that he made that move.
Yeah, Tom. Saturday should have great weather. I think the weather's worth 10,000 more fans. And maybe I'm overstating that, but I think if the forecast all week had been for hot sun and 100-degree temperatures, I think a lot of people would have foregone the game. I think this great weather is going to put the crowd somewhere in the mid-60s.
That's a great point. As opposed to, these Little Rock openers recently have been really hot, and there's been, some issues with the getting water and things like that. So I do believe that having it on campus is more conducive to a bigger crowd, and I really agree with you that I think it will lead to more people saying, hey, I can go out and sit in this a lot easier than if it was in the 90s. Because I remember some openers in recent years, there were 3:15 or some second games that were really hot. Southern Miss years ago comes to mind, just a really hot day, and the kickoff was around 3. So, yeah, and I also heard that about 70,000 tickets were sold. So I know all that's not all those tickets are going to be used, but if it's 60,000 plus, that's a step up from recent years.
Man, I think also what it'll do is keep the crowd in the building in the second half if the game gets lopsided. I mean, if it's hot, you're uncomfortable, and the Arkansas is up, by a good margin in a game of this nature, I think you're more apt to go back to the tailgate or to get in the air conditioning in the car. So maybe this will keep the crowd in there. So, hey, one thing people go ahead.
No, that's a great point. I mean, think of last year when they were ahead 49-0 at halftime and then scored on every possession. And it was a blistering day. Yeah, it's a different thing.
I mean, all the students left at halftime to go study. I mean, they all went to the library at halftime. So
hey, syllabus week is tough, Tommy. Come on, man. Syllabus week is tough. Hurts us all.
So, hey, Tom, people made a big deal. I say it's been a media conversation about Bobby Petrino being up in the box, but at the same time, there's nothing listed for the defensive side to be on the up in the booth. Is that a conversation people are avoiding or not recognizing? On the game notes, there's no defensive coaches in the press box.
Well, I think you're right. I mean, people pay a lot of attention to it. It's that time of year where you haven't played any games yet, and then this is a change from what had been before. And then Sam, of course, explained it pretty well on yesterday's SEC webinar about that Bobby Petrino came to him. He's more comfortable in the booth, that he and Taylor's relationship and trust now is such that he doesn't feel like he has to be right there on the sideline. I want to say, and I did write about this today, that all 4 defensive coaches were listed as being on the field, but I want to say that Travis Williams and Marcus Woodson might have swapped around being on the box and on the field last year. That's my best recollection, that it wasn't a uniform deal all season long. But apparently both guys we know Travis Williams prefers to be on the field. Although he talked about when he's in the box, he gets really emotional after big plays or if something bad happens and he's emotional, and that he can better control himself, and the players maybe not see the immediate reaction as badly if he's in the booth. But I think it's more his personality and nature to want to be on the sideline and be expressive, because I think he feels he can give the team some energy. And Marcus Woodson, I think, has expressed more preference to be on the field. So I guess it's going to be GA's. We'll dig more into that in the next day or two, and obviously be reporting on what it looks like on game day by Saturday.
Tom Murphy with us, Whole Hog Sports, Arkansas Democrat Gazette. Tom, before we came on, we were talking about Drake Lindsey, his first start for Minnesota tonight against Buffalo. You've also got Missouri taking on UCA. I know that's an SEC school you'll play, another school in state. Sounds like Missouri's going to be playing 2 quarterbacks in this one. Kind of what's your interest level in the game tonight, and just kind of your overall thoughts of Missouri this football season?
Right. I was reading Sam Lane's preview of the game. It's UCA up there, obviously, and so there'll be a purple team going at it up in Mizzou. But he wrote that both teams were probably going to rotate their quarterbacks in some fashion, and that Eli has pretty much committed to Horn in the first half, and the other guy, the transfer, Prabula. In the first half, and then Horn in the second. So it's a different way to do it, but it's a way he thinks gives them each the understanding of when they're going to be in the game. And so, that's going to be fun to watch. And I was not aware that Minnesota was playing tonight until I heard it right before I came on the air. So 2 games to pay attention to. Basically, after watching the game in Ireland last week, I'm like, there's got to be some other games. And it wasn't a big menu. UNLV and Idaho State, which turned out to be a good game, but I didn't really watch that. I just there's nothing. I watched a little of Stanford and Hawaii, but not riveting my interest. This is more going to be riveting my interest. And then obviously going to be a real big fun weekend.
All right, so your work schedule, you'll probably get to the Razorback Stadium 2 or 3 hours before. You got your pregame stuff you got to do. Obviously, you got your riding after. All right, what's the game you're going to be like? Maybe on your laptop, or you're keeping an eye on in the press box. The most interesting, intriguing SEC game outside the one in Fayetteville to Tom Murphy.
Man, this is such a huge slate. Obviously, everyone in the country will be paying attention to Ohio State hosting Texas. And, it's so weird that the preseason number one team that has the best odds to win the championship is playing at the defending champion who just beat them at the end of last season. And I know Ohio State's changing quarterbacks and lost a lot of personnel, but they're at home, man. I see Texas as having to really play a fine game to win that. But that's huge. Obviously, Bama at Florida State is a big deal. Is Florida State going to be any semblance of being back this season after just a calamity of last year? And then LSU, the night game, I think, against Clemson, obviously also a big deal. There's a lot of others, but those are the highlights.
Yeah, and I think 17 games tonight. Tonight's going to maybe be better than last Saturday for some, even though that Kansas State Iowa State game was fun. But you got Thursday night. You got games on Friday with Auburn playing Baylor. Saturday's, of course, a full day. Saturdays we got like a 5-day buffet here, Tom, of really good college football before the NFL begins and starts eating up some of the weekend.
Exactly, and everyone will be riveted on college football. And to me, the best weekend until we get to the playoff and the bowl season, when there's a whole lot of action going on. So, I didn't know there were 17 games tonight. I get so focused at camp on what I'm doing. I wasn't aware of Missouri playing tonight until, just a couple of days ago. And then, Minnesota, I'm obviously going to try to tune in and watch some of that as well. So, it's going to be a super fun weekend because you're going to get your fill of sitting in front of the tube and watching some good football.
Tom's like an SEC ball coach, Tom. He's just locked in. Cal always talks to you. Cal always makes a joke. I don't even know who we're playing next. We know who you're playing next, but Tom's locked in on this week.
One game at a time, Tom. Just one game at a time.
That's absolutely the case.
Well, Tom, outside of football, basketball-wise, as we let you go, Michigan State officially on the schedule, November 8th, really kicks off college basketball Saturday. Your thoughts on this official announcement? And then Tom Izzo, Hall of Famer, and Sparty come back next year, Bud Walton.
That's an amazing deal. Two, just classic big-time Hall of Fame coaches in Izzo and Cal hooking it up there in East Lansing this year, and Michigan State leads the series 2-0, so it's time for the Razorbacks to get back on them a little bit. But really, I did not realize Cal had like almost 100 more wins, or maybe right around 100 more wins than Izzo. But when you look at Izzo, he looks older. So to Cal's credit, he's aged better than Izzo has.
All right, we'll see if Cal can get a 4-2 race. 3-2 against him right now. 1-0 in the NCAA tournament. We'll see if that moves to 4-2 as of early November. Tom, good stuff as always, man. I know you're locked in for this game on Saturday. We appreciate the time. We'll chat about it next week.
Let's all be locked in. See y'all.
Tom Murphy with us every Tuesday and Thursday. We'll talk with him again on Tuesday to get an update in his thoughts after a few days of reflection on Game 1 of the season. We're live this morning at the ESPN Experience at Walmart. Phil Elson's here. He's looking at all the memorabilia. Matt Jones will be here in a little bit, so come on by and say hi this morning, Mall Avenue in Fayetteville, at the ESPN Experience at Walmart in Fayetteville. Tom Murphy brought to you this morning by our friends at Mock Legal Solutions. Mock Legal Solutions has 2 locations. They're in Fort Smith. They're also available in Salisal, right across from the courthouse. You can go see them in Arkansas or Oklahoma, licensed in both states. At Mock Legal Solutions, they've got over 13 years of experience handling divorce and family law matters, contract issues, slips and falls, car wrecks where you need someone to deal with the insurance company. They can do all of that at Mock Legal Solutions. 479-769-1505 is their number, 769-1505, or go to mocklegalsolutions.com.
All right, I know we got football this week, but I want to spend just a tad more time on this basketball announcement that was made official yesterday. Between Michigan State the exhibition game against Memphis in Memphis, the game against Duke in Chicago, Louisville at home at Bud Walton, Houston on the road, neutral side in Brooklyn, and then Texas Tech in the American Airlines Center. 5 different games. Which is the one you would be all expenses paid? You say, Ty, I want to go. Which of those 5?
New York City's hard to pass up. So probably Houston at Barclays, just because of the experience. And you'd be at. I went last year when they played Michigan at Madison Square Garden. You're there at Christmas, Rockefeller Center, Rockefeller. The ice skate, the whole thing about New York City at Christmas. That would be the one that would be hard to say no to.
Colton?
Probably an unpopular answer. I would love to see them get some get back against Texas Tech in their home state. I'd love to see that.
That's mine. It's not the most appealing. That's not the sexiest game. The sexiest game's Duke and Chicago and Thanksgiving Day. And I know a lot of people will make people will make the trek for that. But man, that Texas Tech game still eats me alive. Yeah, we're up by like 13 with 4 or 5 minutes to go. Really thought you were about to play Florida for the right to go to the Final Four, and then it just unfortunately fell apart. So I know Texas Tech, they got Toppin back. I can't remember that kid that made the game winner is back or not, but that's the game I am hoping that Arkansas has a little get back like you're talking about, Colton. But I understand where you're coming from, Tommy. I've been to New York right around Thanksgiving when the festive stuff is around. I don't want to live in New York, but that time of year it's a great
place to visit.
Central Park, all that stuff.
Yeah. Hey, come by and check out the memorabilia here at Walmart. We're at the Walmart on Mall Avenue, store 359, which is really hogged out. Not just the ESPN experience, but you walk around the store. There's Arkansas flags. There's Arkansas game wear, game day ready wear you can look at as well. But you can check out the memorabilia. You can snag a selfie here at the official ESPN Sports Center desk. And tonight, be one of the first 200 fans for your chance to meet Darren McFadden, Felix Jones, and Peyton Hillis right here on opening night. So if you can't make it, don't worry. The ESPN experience at Walmart's going to run all the way through September the 29th for fans to enjoy. So if you're coming up this weekend, slide by Walmart here and check out the ESPN experience at Walmart on Mall Avenue in Fayetteville.
In your next segment, we got your SEC update coming up. Some things not just about tonight's action featuring Missouri and UCA, but the rest of the weekend. Stay with us. It's the Morning Rush.
Talon forced to run inside the 40, first down at the 35, inside the 30 to the 20, cuts outside of the 10, 5, touchdown Arkansas, no flags.
This is the Morning Rush.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text FORCE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text FORCE to 42424. That's FORCE to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
But I hope they all understand there's a lot of mutual respect. I respect the crud out of Arkansas and their program and what they've built.
This is the Morning Rush.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson's Salasol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson's Salasol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salasol.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
When electrical needs pop up, don't get left in the dark. Call the local team that's trusted on and off the field. Harrison Electric. That's who homeowners and local businesses choose. Harrison Electric. Honest, dependable, and they leave no mess behind. From quick fixes to major upgrades, Harrison Electric is your go-to for all your electrical projects. Don't sit on the sideline with electrical problems. Get back in the game with the pros you can count on. Harrison Electric. Honest, quick, trusted. 652-3077.
Football, fantasy drafts, new school supplies. It's my favorite time of year. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Born and raised in the River Valley, I know how crazy traffic can get this time of year. As kids head back to class, remember to use caution at crosswalks and in school zones. But not all accidents can be avoided. If you or your loved one is injured in a car wreck, call today. 479-769-1505. No win, no fee. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They are open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts needs, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. We here at ESPN rely on our Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on what's going on around our building, as many of you do. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your belongings. License E50.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
We've seen it all. Recessions, tornadoes, even a global pandemic. But Hug Chevrolet GMC never closed its doors. We stuck with our community because they stuck with us. And through it all, one thing never changed. Our commitment to serve, support, and stay local. Hug Chevrolet GMC, built to last, just like the people we serve.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The SEC is the best conference in America.
The tough will survive in this game, and I feel like the SEC is the toughest.
Arkansas is the SEC champion. You know, every game is a dogfight.
We're about to be tough there is. Week in and week out, you're going to play some of the best, the biggest, the fastest.
The Hawks have finally had the first SEC tournament championship for Arkansas.
Where opponents' dreams come to die.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
Yeah, I was sitting at home, just hanging on my roommates, and my mom calls me, crying, and I'm like, what's going on? And she's just like tearing up, acting like, seeing if I'm okay, and I'm like, yeah, I'm fine, what's going on? And she, saw the post that dude or whoever posted, but that was the first thing I heard of it, and then the calls and texts started coming in. But
That was the voice of Clemson quarterback Cade Klubnik, one of the best guys in college football. There was a message board post earlier this week on a Clemson website. And my question is, for those that some context around this, basically this message board poster said, sources with knowledge tell me that Clemson quarterback Cade Klubnik has been injured in a car accident, more to come. So I'm wondering, Tommy, did an LSU fan sign up, pay a subscription, and then get on the board to do that in order to rattle Cade Klubnik and his family this week? Because I don't know how you come up with that, and just post that randomly. This has to be an LSU stunt, doesn't it?
I don't know if you can connect those dots, but what kind of human being does that? Clearly someone that's not empathetic to anyone else's feelings. But there's gamesmanship, and there's talking trash, and there's talking noise, but that's a different level right there. I can't
Imagine what that feeling must have been like for Klubnik's mom, and then only to find, and you could tell how calm he was in that press conference. It's like, nothing, I'm fine, Mom, but you know how moms are. So again, nothing happened. It was just more of just a crazy message board post. Curious if anything ever comes out about that. Probably not. Mentioned this with Tom earlier. Missouri's playing 2 quarterbacks tonight against UCA. They're, I guess, still trying to figure out their QB situation. You got Auburn and Baylor tomorrow. Really, Tommy, 2 games these next 2 nights in SEC, 2 opponents on your schedule. Don't have their quarterback situation figured out. I'm curious if it becomes materialized after tonight in Columbia and tomorrow in Waco.
Well, and, a team like Missouri playing UCA, I don't know how much you can take away from a game this early in the year and what it's going to mean to Arkansas's game after Thanksgiving, but it does give you at least some initial information, some initial opinions on teams. We've just been talking. We've been guessing. So now we get to at least have some substance to our opinions. That's what I like about getting these games going is now we're not guessing anymore. We're talking about actual football.
Mm-hmm. It is nice to have that. Back to the SEC conversation we had a little bit earlier. North Carolina and Virginia, possible SEC potential schools, according to Brett Murphy, the Big Ten on it as well. Tommy, is this just an arms race? Or land grab? Maybe that's the better way to put it. You're just trying to grab land. You're trying to grab television networks at this point. Big Ten's got a little more money coming in from their network deal than the SEC does. I mean, is that what Greg Sankey and Tony Petitti are basically now just doing at this point? Add the most schools, get the most land, increase the conference revenue?
But is ESPN ready to up the ante? Because, again, if you add schools, you start dividing the pie 18 ways, if you add 2 more, than the 16 you got now. And no one can afford to take a pay cut because their slice of the pizza is just a little bit smaller. So, are the TV networks in a position by adding those schools, they can add another $100 and some odd million a year, 120-ish million a year to the revenue? Because that's what the league distributions need to turn into. So, I don't know. I mean, schools right now with this $20 million deficit they're trying to overcome, I don't see how they go about adding 2 more schools unless they think they can have the revenue on an annual basis.
I don't either, but we'll wait and see. We do know the SEC is moving to 9 games this next season. Hopefully we'll get Arkansas' schedule. Schedule. The 3 game, you think that's announced this season, Tommy? Is this announced in the first few weeks?
They said it would be December, I think, when we have the schedule. I don't know why we would. I think it'll roll out in phases like we've done before. You'll have the teams maybe you're playing, or maybe phase 1 will be you get your permanent opponents, and then they'll let that marinate for a few weeks, and then they'll come back and give you your 9 games, and then maybe the last things in December is dates. So
that makes sense.
I think that's what we'll probably see is the first debate will be over who got the best set of permanent opponents.
Okay. Well, Sam Pittman,
that may roll out in September sometime.
Sam Pittman was on the SEC teleconference yesterday, and here was his thoughts on it.
Certainly, I liked it the way that it was before. So, honestly, I wasn't necessarily for the 9-game schedule. I don't think many of our coaches were, but it just brings another loss to our conference. Half of them brings 8 losses to the conference. But I understand money talks. I think it'll be great for the fans. So there's good and bad on both sides, depending on how you're looking at it. But certainly we're keeping our Power 4 conference game as well. I liked it like it was. We haven't won the last 2 national championships, but we won a whole bunch of them the way that it was before. And so I liked it the way it was before.
Sounded like you were going to say something. You ready?
No.
You look like you were about to fire.
Well, I mean, I understand the losses. I think we better be prepared to have 3 lost teams, in your top 3 or 4. I mean, Sam's right. That's 8 more losses in this league by playing 1 extra game. So how does that translate into the college football playoff committee's responsibility? I think we're headed to 16 teams. I think you're going to end up in a world where the Big Ten and the SEC, either on paper or maybe just wink, wink, are guaranteed 4 slots each. And if you get beyond that, fine. But I think your top 4 are going to be almost guaranteed in from both of those 2 leagues. That would be half your field.
And I wonder, the cutoff this year seemed to be 2 losses. Like, if you get 2 losses, you can still make it. 3, you're not going to make it. We saw Alabama, South Carolina, and Ole Miss not make the college football playoff. That number's going to shift at 3 losses. Like, you'll have 1 or 2, maybe even 3 or 4 teams that have 3 losses on their resume, whether from the SEC or Big Ten, kind of like you're talking about, and will make the college football playoff. It won't be 4. I just can't see a scenario that'll happen based on just the setup and everything else. But you'll starting in, I guess, 2026, that will happen. And that's just going to be odd to see. And what it does, here's what it does. Like, Bill King comes on our airwaves on Halftimes Weekly. You've already diminished the regular season. And now, these games of consequence in week 1, there is going to be, a perspective of, we can schedule them because we can still take 2 other losses potentially and still make the college football playoff. So that would be the approach. We were talking back and forth this week about the idea of scheduling marquee big-time games. Well, if they move it to 16, and when they get to this 9-game schedule, you'll have a bunch of 9-3 teams, so you'll have that at least resume builder booster depending on how it shakes out early in the season.
Yeah, and I think where we're going to be at some point is 10 games in the SEC, and then we'll play 2 and then you'll still play your 1 Power 4 conference team that you got to schedule. I think we're also headed towards a world where the Big Ten and the SEC have a challenge in football like you do in other sports with basketball with the ACC. I think we're headed to that. So that might be your 1 game. And then eventually, somewhere 10 years down the road, you're just going to play 12 Power 4 games or the new Collegiate Football League or whatever they call it 12 years from now. You'll only play teams that are in that 48-team field or whatever. And that's when the big purge or the big cut begins, and then the world of haves and have-nots really unfolds at that point. And you better be glad you've got a seat at the table with the Big Ten and the SEC. And that's, I think that's when football breaks away collegiatly from the rest of college sports.
Yeah, and you got renovations like Drink was talking earlier this week. It's like we're spending $250 on $250 million, not $250 million on a stadium renovation. Like, you want these games. You want these games of consequence at home. So what I'm also curious about on this, Tommy, is those games of consequence that we're talking about week 1. I know Alabama's going to Tallahassee and Auburn's going to Wake, but you've got some of these games in neutral sites. And I know there's big-time sponsors and stuff like that, but do we see some of those, even though they're games of consequence, do we see some of those marquee first weekend games go away, like the kickoff games, particularly the ones in Atlanta?
No, because TV and the bowl games or the bowl committees and, how the bowls interact with this still make it where it's financially profitable to play. So, no, I think TV will require those games. So you'll still have a big opening weekend, but you're also, because of 9 games, you may end up with, I don't know, Texas playing Georgia week 1, too. I mean, because there's just fewer availabilities. The real losers on this are going to be the mid-major programs, the Sun Belts, the Conference USAs, the ones that are getting, $1.5 million to come to your stadium. Schools aren't going to write that check anymore. So, we were going back and forth who the losers of this will be. I think it'll be those schools, and schools like UAPB or this coming week, Alabama A&M may still fit in your schedule for a while. But I think there's going to be some budgeting crisis at certain levels of college sports because these check games aren't going to happen in the future. And starting next year, somebody's getting cut from the Hogs schedule next year.
I'll just kind of guessing. You're not going to cut the Memphis game at home. I think they're going to cut the Tulsa game. I'm just going to guess. Because you still got to have that Power 4 game on your schedule. So you got to play Utah and Salt Lake.
Utah, yeah.
So
you're not cutting. You're going to cut. You're going to.
I don't think they'll cut the FCS game. Pittman's going to be like, look, I need a surefire, no question about winnable game. So they'll cut the Tulsa game. So
I think you've got to also look at it. How does that rotate next year? And are you on the right plan where you've got, next year Arkansas really needs 5 home SEC games because you go on the road to Utah, or you're scheduled to.
Yeah, that's a great point.
So you got to get it lined up. Okay, so then the next year, isn't it Oklahoma State coming here in 27?
Talking about 27. They signed another contract where there's a few more in 2030 something. I know the Notre Dame game's in 28 on the road. That sounds right that you go, or that the guys from Stillwater come here.
Point is, you got to line up your Power 4. Your Power 4 game has to line up. If you're going to play home and away with somebody or have a Power 4 game on the road you've got to have that lined up with the years you're 5 at home and 4 on the road, so that you've got 5 quality games in your stadium.
Oklahoma State and Tulsa.
So next year, I'm going to guess Arkansas would be more likely to have 4 SEC games at home.
You mean 5?
Well, hang on, because next year we're going on the road. 5 next year, 4 the following. That's what I'm saying. You got to get it lined up because you're going to Utah, so you need 5 at home next year. You've got Oklahoma State coming in the following year. That's the year you have 4.
Yeah.
So you got to, and how they massage that out with 16 schools.
We're going to get screwed. I'm just telling you.
You can't, but the league's not going to do that long term. Some schools are going to get the short end of the stick in the short term, but long term, that's how it has to be.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of Oklahoma State, Tommy, did you see? I could send this to you. I said this to my aunt. She was not a fan of it. I sent it to our buddies Matt and Andrew Holland over at Bell Point. One of the most overlooked traditions at Oklahoma State is the poke pop. Be sure to inform any freshmen before their first game tomorrow to bring their pistols. It's like, considering what just happened in Fayetteville, let's not joke about that so they don't miss out. So for those that have seen the other guys, the desk pop, that's the same concept. So hopefully a dumb, ignorant, young freshman in Stillwater, Oklahoma is not abiding by what he sees on social media and actually tries to get that in Boone Pickett Stadium. We'll see.
All right, that's your SEC updates brought to you by the Arkansas State Police. They've been busy this morning with all the flash flooding and all the roads that I know Phil was telling me there was a wreck just outside the tunnel this morning, had traffic backed up. Be careful on the roads this weekend. Labor Day weekend's here. We got the first game. For some, it's the last trip to the lake. It's pool parties at friends' house. It's backyard barbecues. Think before you drink. Drive sober or get pulled over. This holiday's become a deadly one in Arkansas, and it's illegal to drive with a blood alcohol level of 0.08 or higher. We know that, but sometimes we don't think about the consequences. You go to jail. I know someone that lost their job for a DWI recently. It can be very life-changing in a lot of ways. You got to get an ignition interlock to just start your car and to keep your car moving. All of those things will cost you over $10,000, and plus a lot of shame and self-reflection and embarrassment that you just don't want to go through. So you have a choice. Think before you drink, drive sober, or get pulled over. This message brought to you by the Arkansas State Police.
Well, speaking of drinking, Jimmy Johnson was on record earlier this week talking about the trip to the Sugar Bowl back in the day. He and Jerry Jones were on having a little fun. Here was Jimmy Johnson at the Little Rock Touchdown Club this week.
Jerry says, they're all at a dinner. We can go right down the street and maybe get us a cold beer or something. This is after curfew. I said, let's go, Jerry. Let's, whatever. And so we went down and we sat down at this bar and they said, y'all are football players going to play in the Sugar Bowl? I said, yeah. They started buying us drinks. And we're sitting there drinking beer, just having a hell of a time. And so a hand gets on my shoulder. It's Doug Dickey, our offensive backfield coach. Doug Dickey says, boys, pay for your drinks. We're going out of here. I said, oh, no, they're paying for the drinks right down there. He said, you get your rear end back to your rooms. He said, I don't know if I'm going to tell Coach Sproles tonight because Coach Sproles liable to send you home. And I said, oh, man, we are sweat. Oh, I just knew. We were sophomores. I just knew they were going to send us home. And so, Jerry being Jerry, we're walking back to the hotel, and Billy Moore, Ooh, boy, there's some Billy Moore stories too now. And I can't tell you the Billy Moore stories. But anyway, Billy, I think he was rooming with Jerry Mazzani. And so Billy said, Jerry. And so he said, what happened? So we go in the room, and the door to their room was open. And so we go back in the room, and Jerry starts, and we were having drinks, and they were buying us drinks, and they were doing it. And Doug Dickey comes in, and I look at the back of the room, there's Doug. I go, He said, I told you to get to your room, and then, so we go back to the room, didn't sleep a wink that whole night. I don't know if he ever told Coach Brawls or not, but they didn't send us home. We nearly got sent home, both of us.
So on the subject of not drinking and driving, PSA to all underagers out there. Don't drink underage like Jimmy Johnson and Jerry Jones did in New Orleans back in the day.
My dad played high school football at Fort Smith Northside, and the Hogs were in the Sugar Bowl one of those years when my dad was I believe a sophomore, and they took the entire team down to the Sugar Bowl to watch the game, bust down there from Fort Smith, and turned them loose in the French Quarter, high school kids, and said, "Hey, y'all be back at the bus at 2 a.m.
Oh
and
my
don't
gosh!
Don't do anything wrong." Can you imagine doing that with a high school team today? I think stories like Jerry's would be on the lighter side of the things that would happen. So that story doesn't surprise me at all. The one that Jimmy told right there with him and Jerry.
So Amsterdam and New Orleans are kind of on the same spectrum. And I remember I had some friends in high school that visited there, and their parents they snuck out on one night or something. They were just walking around. They weren't doing anything, and they kept getting these cards flicked at them. And they weren't looking or anything. They were just like, what are these? These people are throwing cards at us. Well, they picked one of them up, and sure enough, it was a bare naked lady on there, and it had a number, and then it had a price. And they looked at each other. It's like, we should probably go home now. So I'll give them credit. I'll commend them for making the smart call. What was that, 15 years ago or whatever it was? But I think I would have done something stupid if I was left on my own in New Orleans as a college or high school senior, I should say, like your father was.
All right, let's take a quick break. Halftime's coming up. Phil Elson, Matt Jones here at the Walmart in Fayetteville on Mall Avenue. We're brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort. 870-431-5202 is the number. Call Gaston's and book your trip right now to see one of the great treasures in our state. That's the White River. And at Gaston's, you're always going to find a great time, great restaurant that overlooks the White River, fireplaces in most of their cabins, full kitchens in most of their cabins, and they're private cabins and lodges. So you're not in a hotel where kids are running around upstairs or someone next door's, having a party till 2 in the morning. You're going to kind of have a quiet, serene time at Gaston's. If it sounds like, hey, he just described exactly what I'm looking for, 870-431-5202 is the number, and the reservation team at Gaston's will put together the perfect trip for you. 870-431-5202, Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
That's kind of the problem up at LSU. They say that's the loudest place in the world. Well, they're loud because they start cooking about 8 o'clock there, and they start drinking.
This is the Morning Rush.
If the 25th is the silver anniversary and the 50th is gold, what's the 75th? Well, that's the fresh beef, onions, pickles, lettuce, tomatoes, fries, and drink anniversary. Everybody knows that. Get the #1 water meal for $7.50 in honor of our 75th anniversary. A meal like that is the way you're supposed to celebrate a 75th. The Whataburger 75th Meal Deal. Whataburger, what a deal. For a limited time at participating locations.
Hey everyone, David Rath here with Rath Auto Resources. Our state sales tax paid offer was a big hit. Frankly, we've been too busy selling cars to come up with an inspired replacement. So in my stereotypical artistic procrastination, I just gave up and decided to extend the sale through Labor Day. Just bring in your old ride and get state sales tax paid when you trade, now through Labor Day weekend. Probably. Just know the reason why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Get state sales tax paid when you trade, now through Labor Day at Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, rathautofortsmith.com.
Storm season is here. Is your roof ready? Hey, it's Matt Jones. If the weather has wrecked your roof and you need a roofing company you can trust, call my friends at Patriot Brothers Roofing. They have the #1 certainteed roofing company in Arkansas. They are licensed, bonded, insured, and lifetime River Valley residents located in Van Buren.
Thanks, Matt. We are also the only roofing company in the River Valley that installs a full CertainTeed integrity roof system and registers a 50-year warranty directly with CertainTeed. Patriot Brothers Roofing, because your home deserves only the best.
Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch, Bush Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. At Dixie Digital, we go beyond copiers. We offer complete solutions to help your business thrive, including IT services, secure cloud solutions, and productivity-enhancing printers. With Xerox, Brother, and Epson cutting-edge technology, we ensure you have everything you need to succeed. Call us at 783-6600 to discover our latest technology and services. Dixie Digital Imaging.
Staff that you have. Great day to be a Razorback, you know. That's my hero. I want to be when I grow up. I appreciate what you guys do.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Just got to tune in and see, man.
That's what Taylor Green said when Tom asked him earlier this week about what the offense, maybe some new looks, maybe some new things that they'll wrinkle in this upcoming season. Well, speaking of new looks, Tommy is now set up at the ESPN Experience. It looks, no joke, like a Sports Center set. It is a Sports Center set. Phil and Matt are about to be there. Phil, they're actually already there getting ready for halftime.
Yeah, and getting ready here. Come on in, get out of the rain. Come see us here. If you can't make it, tune into the YouTube live broadcast here from the Sports Center desk, the ESPN Experience at Walmart, and kind of see what it's all about, and we'll be telling you more here throughout halftime coming up today as well. Hey, if you're looking for your favorite lures from Pradco, they're all available at the click of a button. LureNet.com not only has brands like Rebel, Yum, Booyah, and more, but the site has exclusive deals and baits you won't find anywhere else from all your favorite brands, plus free shipping on all U.S. orders over $35. So be sure and treat yourself and your fishing buddies to some new tackle box treasures. Check it all out at LureNet.com today.
Speaking of new look, Tommy, have you seen the painting on the hog walk? They changed the parking, so I can't tell you what parking it is. What's that parking? The pit. What's the pit been?
Well, it used to be lot 44.
Okay.
I don't know what the number is now.
They changed it. Christian came in here yesterday, and he's like, "Is the media pass still lot 56?" And I looked on the pass, and it says 320 to 322. I was like, "Why did we do this?" But in the pit, I think most people know that term. They've ridden out, drawn out, whatever, a big old HOGS. I think it looks pretty good. I think the paint job looks great, honestly.
Well, and hey, if you're parking there, you got a good spot. It's a good tailgating spot. All the concerts and everything they do there. So hopefully you've got one of them coveted reserve spaces in the pit.
Hopefully that is the case. All right, well, that's going to do it for us here on the Morning Rush. Appreciate everyone tuning in today. We had Dave Neal.
2 days away, baby.
I know. Dave Neal in hour number 1. If you missed that, it'll be in the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast along with our friend Tom Murphy, like Tommy said. Halftime coming up momentarily from the ESPN experience at Walmart. Tommy, one more time, tell everyone where it's at. I know there's a lot of Walmarts in Northwest Arkansas.
It's on Mall Avenue in Fayetteville, just off Joyce. Store 359, Walmart store 359, and halftime's coming here live next with Matt Jones and Phil Elson.
From the Sports Center set, Phil's in his element. You'll hear him coming up in just a bit. We're back tomorrow at 9 a.m.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry,